everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing an eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. I have containers right here. I have drawers behind me. We're going to go through them all. I just feel like having my collection in containers, I could probably go through and get rid of some. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know how many I'm going to declutter, but I think it's worth going through them because I think there's a few that I could probably let go of. So yeah, and I may rearrange. I may pull a few out that are in the drawers and swap them out for palettes. So I may do that too, but yeah, get a snack because I have technically 5 drawers and then 5 containers. So it's going to take me a little bit to get through them all. So I'm not going to swatch anything because we'll be here for a million years if I start swatching palettes. So I'm just going to open them up, show them to you. I'll make a decision, kind of rapid fire. I'm going to try and do it like breeze through because I said we'll be here for a while. So yeah, get a snack and a drink and we're going to jump in. Hopefully it doesn't bother anybody that I'm going to be in the frame. I do like watching the declutters where it's just the palette, but the positioning of that is going to be too hard, and it like being able to maneuver. I've got things within reach, so we're just going to start off with these. I'm not going to get rid of anything out of this drawer, but I will show you what's in it. I have the Born This Way. This is all of my ABH and Too Faced palettes. Not all of them. I think a couple of my Tid palettes are over there, but this is the Natural Nudes. And then I have Norvina Subculture Soft Glam. I've never used. I bought it when I went to Montana for Thanksgiving. Never used it. I'm gonna put Subculture on top because I've never used that either. I bought it on Poshmark. We have Riviera Prism. I don't use a lot of these regularly. I'll use them once in a while, but I'm not ready to part with any of them. Jackie Ina, I've only used once. We have Sultry. Again, I bought this brand new on Poshmark. I've never used it, but I'm happy that I was able to get a hold of it. I love Poshmark. I really need to get sponsored by them at some point because I advocate for them all the time. Modern Renaissance has survived declutters. And then my Carly Bible, which a lot of people did not like. I like this. This is a very soft, like romantic color story, but I enjoy this palette. I've gotten some really pretty looks. My mother-in-law bought that for me 2 Christmases ago. So these are in this drawer because I want to use them more. So what's in the drawers is all I have access to on a daily basis. The containers sit in my closet. So we have Too Faced Sweet Peach, just because this is old and I'm trying to get some use out of it before it goes. Gingerbread Spice is my favorite tin palette from Too Faced, most used. Love this palette. It kind of smells like Play-Doh because of the weird gingerbread smell. And then the original chocolate bar, still smells like chocolate, and I do still like this. But Sweet Peach is my oldest tin palette, so it's in here because this one is going to expire at some point. So I'm trying to get some more use out of it before it goes. So yeah, what's in these drawers is what I have access to on the daily basis. Okay, so I don't know that you're gonna be able to see. Okay, I'll hold everything up. We have Naked Cherry. I like these Naked palettes. Not everybody does. Naked Honey I got on sale. Very, very good sale purchase. Naked Heat I got on Poshmark. Had been never used. Go on Poshmark. I'm telling you, you can get brand new makeup for a good deal. And then during the Sephora VIB sale, I got the Wild West palette. The only one I am missing that I would like to have would possibly be Ultraviolet, but again, I'm going to try and get it on sale through Poshmark. My little Smoke Balm palette, that's not ever going to go anywhere. Lolita from KVD. I have my Smoke Session. My Gemini palette is in a different drawer because of sizing, but I do like this palette. I have my 2 Lorac Pros, this purple one, which is number 4. I got both of these on Poshmark. This one's my favorite just because I like berries. The formula of these is really easy. And then I bought 2, and I think I've used it once. So these are just nice everyday palettes, which is why they're in this drawer. A lot of stuff that I chose to keep in here is just stuff that I can do like everyday easy makeup. My newest Natasha Denona, this is the Ayana little 5-pan, and then I have the Peak palette, which I think was made exclusively for BoxyCharm. I think I got a good one because I've never had any issues with mine. Some people did. I think I got one of the good batches. I have these 2 from Makeup Geek. Again, I got them on Poshmark. This is right before her rebranding. So I have Champagne Rose, which is a nice pinky palette. And then I have Peach Bellini. Again, I've never used these. I got them both used. And I'm hoping I can get some use out of them. I have all of my little Huda Obsessions. We have Smoky Obsession, which is my favorite like travel palette. She's real messy, but I use her a lot. Mauve Obsession. Sapphire, I've never used. Ruby, I've never used. And Topaz, I've never used. These all, again, sit in the drawer because they're pretty, like, monochromatic palettes. And they're small. So I have Rose, the Rose Pastels. I got this in a BoxyCharm. Haven't used it yet. Nude, medium. I think I did use a couple of shades out of here. Maybe. I think I used one of the shimmers. This I got in the Advent calendar. And then I have green. Emerald Obsessions, which is one of my favorites. My husband's favorite color is green, so I tend to use a lot of green. And then Amethyst. Looks like the ColourPop one. I've used the ColourPop one. I've never used this one, so there's a lot of these. Don't judge me that I've never used. But that's also why they're in here, because I'm hoping, like, this orange one I'm going to try and use, and the red one during fall. So, and then I have my little sugar pill. I have used this. I'm going to grab my mini breaker. It goes in this drawer, so I'm going to put it back in here. My ColourPop, the Taupe palette. I really like this. My Star Wars. I don't know why I keep this in the box. That's going to go away because I don't... It looks exactly like the palette. There's no reason for that to be in the box. So there's the Star Wars palette. Again, it's a green palette. The It's Freakin' Bats from Shroud. I love Butte Bean. I keep the box because there's a little message on it, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Yeah, she's got a little message to her fans. So I keep that one in the box, and then the Jawbreaker. Okay, so let's switch. Okay, so then here is Gemini again. I love grungy greens and like these mustardy brown tones. So there's my Melt Gemini palette. And then I have my Dominique Cosmetics ones. Berries and Cream is lovely. Poshmark. These are all 3 of these are from Poshmark. Rustic Glam I had to go on from Poshmark because BoxyCharm lost, or no, it was Ipsy. It was Ipsy Plus, lost my add-ons and my box. So I had to go on, hunt this down and purchase it, but this was supposed to be an add-on, but I got it cheaper than what the add-on price was. So there is Rustic Glam. And then Celestial Storm, we got the mini version in a BoxyCharm, and I really, really like this palette. So I hunted down the full size, and I did find there's not many of these on Poshmark, so you really got to look and keep an eye out. But it's a really pretty palette. I liked it enough that I wanted the 4 extra shades, which sounds insane. So I did declutter the mini, but I have the full size. I like her formula. It's good. And then I have all of my Kaleidos palettes. So we've got Sashimi City, which I do tend to bring when I'm traveling. It is the nude palette. The only one I'm missing is the Lunar Lavender. I don't use purples a lot, so I haven't been inclined to buy it. Astro Pink is one of their most popular ones. Sci-Fi Green is my favorite. Shocker there. Cyber Bronze is a really pretty like fall color story. I took this with me when I went to Montana for Thanksgiving. I do have the neon, VR neon, which this one was discontinued, which is a bummer because these are really, really nice neons. And then this electro turquoise was supposed to be limited edition, but as far as I know, this one's still available. This one I've only used once, but it's really pretty. And then I have two full-size palettes. I have the Club Nebula with Angelica. I've only used this once, but it's really pretty. A little bit more on the darker, like grungy side. And then I have their Escape Pod, which is more bright and colorful. So there are those. Okay. We got most of my Color Pops. This one was a newer purchase. They brought this back. I got it when it was on sale. This is the, what is this? All That palette. It's a, you know, berry, a little bit grungier of a berry scheme. And then I have the Whatever palette, which is a little bit more terracotta. Dream Street, which I've almost decluttered. The shimmers in here are stunning, so that's what saved it, because this shade and this shade need help, but the shimmers in here are lovely. The Zodiac, I can't bring myself to get rid of any of these. I like the Zodiac. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge color story, but it's pretty. I did repurchase this when it was on sale. This is the Misunderstood the Villains palette. I gave it to my subscriber friend Wendy, and I missed it, even though I've only used it once. I know that doesn't make sense. I'm insane. I don't necessarily care for the matte selection that's in here, because you only have 5 mattes. You have a black, a blue, a kind of orangey, this shade, and the white, and then, but this is a nice companion palette. I used to only want to use one palette, and I've kind of gotten away from that, so I don't mind using multiple palettes. I have the Hocus Pocus, which I will never get rid of this because of what I had to go through to get it. I went through the 2-day fiasco with ColourPop to get this, and I did get the Sarah Lip kit too. I wasn't able to get the eyeliners, but I will never get rid of this, even if I stop using it, because that was a nightmare. That's why I don't buy things on launch typically. But I like this. Again, very fall-esque palette. So far, we haven't decluttered anything. Like I said, this might just be a collection video, but I thought it. But again, these are more of my everyday, like what I'm using. And then the Arcana from Shroud. Grungy, jewel-toned fall palette. Love it. Mike bought me this. This is the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes. This, again, is a companion palette, but it's very, very pretty. If you can get it on sale, I recommend. Very, very nice. I still have my electric palette. Mine's still good. I got it on Poshmark. You can still buy these on Poshmark. Nothing's been hard panned. Nothing smells funny. Everything still performs. So I use it. My Enduring Love from Sydney Grace. Looks like this is the deep version. So I don't have a brow bone highlight, but that's what my little balm palette is for. Let's put some of these back in here. The ColourPop ones are in here because I would like to use them more. And then I have a few from Juvia's Place. The Tribe is my favorite. Juvia's Place palette, again, it's got greens in it. The Sunrise palette, I think I'm going to pull out just because I never reach for this. This is a dupe for the Huda Beauty New Nude. So I think this one's going to come out. My foot's falling asleep here. And then I bought the Warrior on Poshmark. I think this one's going to come out too, just because I'm not reaching for it. There's 2 palettes that I want to try from BH. So I think I'm going to put them in and pull these 2 out, but I'll use this one probably during fall, hopefully. And then I did buy the Magic Mini off of Poshmark. I think I got the Warrior and the Magic Mini together. Like, they've never been used. They're brand new. This one intrigues me. This is an interesting color story. So I'm going to see if this one's going to stay in the drawer. And then my Book of Magic from Beauty Bay is beautiful. Like, if you can get this on Poshmark, the shimmers in here are stunning. So recommend. So these, a couple of these are going to stay. This one I might pull out and put back in later. I'm going to see what I can fit in here. So this drawer, I'm going to set off to the side so I can see what I can fit in here. I might pull out Dream Street just so that I can fit these ColourPop palettes better. Or do I want to keep Zodiac or Dream Street in this drawer? I think I'm going to keep Zodiac. Pull out Dream Street, and then these will go in a container with those. Okay, so the last drawer while I'm rambling over here. Okay. Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn. I still haven't used this yet. I did get a second one and gift it to one of you guys. It's a very grungy color story. I want to use this. Ofra, what is it? The Glitch palette. This is like a topper palette. Life's a Festival from Too Faced. I have my Nomad Harajuku, Tokyo Harajuku palette. I haven't been reaching for these, so I think I might pull these ones out too. Oh. I have Strawberry Dream from Lunar Beauty, and then my Moon Spell palette. Which I keep in the sleeve just because the packaging is so pretty. But there's that. Okay, so there's a couple in here. I have the Ace Beauté Nostalgic palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. I haven't used this yet, but it's real pretty. And then there's another one of these that I pulled out. It's a pink one that I may pull back in now that I got rid of a couple palettes out of this drawer. My Lime Crime Greatest Hits I got on Poshmark. I really like this color selection. This to me is more of a fall palette, but I like it in conjunction because there's a couple of light shades that I wish the other palette had, but I have my Venus XL also from Poshmark. I'm telling you, if you can look past buying used makeup, you can get some really good deals. So I think I'm going to put that other Ace Beauté palette back in here. Okay. Oh, and I missed this whole pile back here. I have my Dose of Colors Friendication palette. This whole shade busted out. My dog got a hold of it. I repressed that whole shade. I scooped it up off of my bed and repressed that. Moon Dust. I have OCD, so if one shade is missing, I can't use the palette. It's got to go. But I have my Moon Dust palette. My favorite Huda Beauty palette, like full-size palette, is this Mercury Retrograde. I love this palette a lot. And then this one is one that I'm contemplating getting rid of at some point. I haven't used it since I put that sticker on it, so I need to, the Rose Gold Remastered. Okay. All right, so let's get into some containers. There may be some decluttering happening in here. Let's see. Okay, this is the Scarlet Dusk palette. This is what's going to go back in that drawer because I haven't used this one either. And I want to use those. So those are going to go back in there. Alamar Cosmetics. I feel like I want to hold on to this for a little bit longer. I haven't used it in forever, but I feel like I really like this, like for fall. This looks like a fall palette to me. I think I might get rid of my Nightingale palette only because I have that Jeffree Star palette now. I really like Silver Spoon, but I don't know that it's worth keeping. I have my Jeffree Star palette over here. The only palettes I'm not going to show are my Jeffree Star ones just because I just did a ranking video, but I think I can get away with getting rid of this. Okay, so I think I'm going to declutter the Nightingale just because I have this big monstrosity of a gray palette. I don't know where I'm going to put my decluttered palettes. We'll start a pile back there. Okay. Meat Lovers from Glamlit. I haven't used this yet. I think Wendy sent me this. I want the meat. I want the vegetarian one because it's green. So if anybody has that and they don't want it and want to send it my way. But I like Glamlit, so I'm going to hold on to that. Neon Drip I only used once. It's not a bad neon palette. And then I have the shades that were kind of duds. I was able to use my Kaleidos palette, so I think I'm going to keep that for now. I have these two Hip Dot palettes that I have never used. There's a pink one, which I'm curious about Hip Dot's formula. I might put one of these in my drawer and see if I reach for it because I have a spot. And then I have this blue one. I'm going to put this one in my drawer and see if I grab for it. Beauty Bakery, Breakfast in Bed. This is a nice, I liked this palette for like every day. Like it's nothing spectacular, but I didn't mind it. Through My Eyes from ColourPop. I still really like this palette, so we'll keep that. These are the two that are going to go in the drawer. These are the BH palettes I want to try. I bought them and I haven't used them yet. So I have Blueberry Muffin. So these are going to go in with the Juvia's Place palettes. And then I have Avocado Toast because it's green. That's the only reason about that one. I really wanted the Blueberry Muffin and I was like, well, let me try the green one too because it's green. This is the Shades of Rose from Be Bella. I didn't think this was bad. I've only used it once. I like this color story, so I think I'll hold on to that for a little bit longer. It's like an indie brand. I have in the Blooms palette from Alter Ego. These are all Natasha Denona dupes. The Goddess palette. My two large Natasha Denona palettes and my Game of Thrones and then my Pat McGrath palette are at my desk. Those aren't going anywhere, so I'm just going to leave those over there. There's the Taco palette from Glamlight. I like the greens in here and these oranges. So again, I'm going to keep this one. I probably don't need the Neon Drip palette because I have this and the pizza palette, but I'll hold on to these for a little while longer, only because I haven't used them a bunch. What else is in here? This Ciate London palette I've never used. I don't know that I need this. I want to try it because I have two other Ciate London palettes. Maybe I'll leave that out and see if I can use them. I have my two Revolution, the Soph and the Soph X. I'm not going to open those. Sigma Corta Rosa. This is the only Sigma palette I own. I like this one. Pure Festival 2.0. I like this palette. Every time I've used it and I put the shimmer on my lid, I get a lot of compliments on it. The handbook for the Dearly Departed from Wicked Sisters. This palette I think is just okay. I don't like their pressed glitter formula, so there's 3 pressed glitters. But the shadows are nice. It's a nice like grungy color story. I've never like purchased anything else from them, but I don't mind that palette. The Tammy X from Revolution. I do like this palette. Makes me think I don't need the Neon Drip palette. The more I'm looking, I'm like, I have all these neon shades. Living My Best Life palette, Lottie London. Never used it. I hunted this palette down for 6 months and then never used it. Mike bought me this one. It's a green palette. And then my one Glamlight Christmas Morning palette. Oh, let's see. Trying to think here if I need, let me look at the neon shades because I may not need the Neon Drip palette. Let me get back to it. Circle back around here because I have these, I like Glamlight's formula. And then I have my Kaleidos palette. I'll hold on to this for a little bit longer, I guess. I don't need it. I know I don't need that Neon Drip palette. I can tell you right now I don't need it. Not even a little bit. But we'll keep it for a little bit longer. Okay, and then I'm going to put see if I can squeeze these in here. Oh, I don't know how much room I have. Oh. That Juvia's Place palette's gonna have to go somewhere else. Oh, this is the mess. Okay, these are all smaller palettes. Like here's the other Ciate London palette. I've never used this one. I see my Juvia's Place palette, so I'll put the Warrior with it. They look really pretty, but I haven't used these, so I need to. And it doesn't help that my stuff's in containers. We have Fenty, Violet Voss Essentials 2. I think I'm going to let this one go. It's pretty, but I don't need it. So I'm going to let that go. My Smoked palette from Urban Decay. Again, this is an older one, but it's not bad. A sticker on a palette that I'm not going to get rid of my Venus palettes. This is one, and I have Immortalis. I don't know if you could see that. There's one. I don't know if I'm holding it in frame. There's Immortalis. I have 3 and 2. And then I have my little Polly Pocket palettes. I have the blue one, which looks like this. And those I keep purely because they look like Polly Pockets. The only one I've ever used is this one. And I like this one. I've never used the blue one, but they look like Polly Pockets, so they stay. Sugar Pill, I have the pink and the orange capsule palettes. I like these. My little baby Too Faced, I have Hot Buttered Rum from Holiday 2 years ago, and then this is Holiday 3 years ago, Sugar Cookie. I didn't buy any of the minis this last year because I don't need anything. My mini white chocolate, my pumpkin spice, I'm not going to open, and then my white chocolate chip are in here. I knew I had more. I forgot about the pumpkin spice palette. My MAC Classic Cutie palette. My friend Lauren bought me this. I have Tarte Sizzle. Believe in Yourself. And then Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust. It's probably my most used out of those circle ones. And then the Natural Eyes. And then my Z palettes. This one, these are all Lunatic Cosmetics. I depotted all of my Lunatic Labs palettes because they're magnetic. You can pop them right out. So this is, what did I have? 3 palettes. The Elvira, no, I had 4. The Elvira, the Vampira, Supernatural, which was the mauve toned one, and then the heart shaped palette. And then a couple of singles that I've gotten in subscription boxes, and then that's the blush out of the Elvira palette. I didn't write the names down because I'm stupid, because I was like, oh, I'll be able to tell if I want to put them, because I still have the packaging. I don't know that I can put these back in the right spots. I have to really look online. Yeah, I was being lazy and I didn't write the names down because I was like, I'll be able to tell. Yeah, there's a lot of mauves here, but they're all in one palette. So these are all my Lunatic Cosmetics. And then this one is some ColourPop, some Sydney Grace. The Sydney Grace ones are all back here. There's a few Makeup Geek, like quite a few Makeup Geek. And then this is from like an indie brand, this one shade down here. But yeah, mostly Makeup Geek, Sydney Grace, and then a few ColourPop singles. I do like having them all in one palette because I usually like them, especially the Lunatic Cosmetics palettes. I use them together generally, so it's nice for me to have them in one spot. This game of Tetris from hell that I have to play. Okay, so we got 2 in the declutter. I I said, I could probably get rid of the neon drip if I insist on getting rid of more, but I don't declutter just for the sake of decluttering. I like to get rid of stuff that I'm genuinely not going to use. I don't declutter just for the sake of decluttering. I used to, I don't anymore. That's why several palettes have ended up back in my collection. This is the Nomad Marrakesh palette. A subscriber, Brenda, sent me this one. So there's that. I like Nomad Cosmetics. I have the pastel one that ended up in a different box. But there's the smaller blue one from them also that's pretty. Brenda also sent me from Peachy Queen the No Place Like Home, which I've been curious about this brand. So I'm excited. It's a pretty rainbow palette, and the pressed glitters in here. I don't mind pressed glitters. I just don't like Wicked Sisters pressed glitters, at least not the ones that are in the palette that I have. I have two from Black Moon, the Urban Myth, and then the Strobe of Light, brand new off of Poshmark. And then Mike bought me both of the Melt. Mike bought me the whole PR box, so I have the entire Beetlejuice collection. So I have the Recently Deceased and the Waiting Room palettes. And then my burn book from Storybook Cosmetics. I've never used. I got it on sale. Looks like that. So I have like the liners, all the lipsticks, the liquid lipsticks, the whole shebang. My original Pumpkin Spice, which is one of my favorite travel palettes. Number 2, these were the HSM exclusive What's the Tea from the Balm. I really like this palette. I haven't used it much, but I like it. Brenda sent me this LA Girl Pro palette. I absolutely love it. It's great. My 2 Tarte, I have the original Tarte Pro and the Remix. My Caliente from Glam Light. My Tarte, Wendy's been trying to get this one from me. I've never used this. I bought it. These are pressed glitters, but it's pretty. And then this Holiday Too Faced palette from last year, which again, there's pressed glitters in here, but the pressed glitters in here are nice. I was able to get a pretty look out of this. So that one will stay for a little bit longer. I don't know that that one will survive another declutter, that holiday one, but it's not a bad palette. Okay, we got one container left. Thank goodness. Like I said, I've only gotten rid of 2. The neon one will probably go later just because I don't need it, but okay. Getting winded here. Glad there's only one. Okay, so I'm not going to open all my monochromatic palettes. I bought the Wine and Only palette. Mine's a little broken. It doesn't stay closed, so there's a hair tie on it. I have pink, purple, which I'll open this one. This looks like identical to the Huda Beauty one. But I have these as good drugstore alternatives because I do film videos. I almost decluttered all of these ColourPop palettes and I decided to keep them. Blue. Green is one of my favorites. I'll open green because it's got one of my favorite shades ever. The Mary Jane shade here in the middle is so nice. I have the yellow and then the Smoke Show, which they did bring back. This, I think it's called Blowing Smoke now. If you can get your hands on this, this is a phenomenal gray palette. I have another Sydney Grace, which I've never used this one. This one, what is this called? This was a free gift when I bought the other palette. I don't know what this palette is called. Chase Your Dreams, I guess. I'm going to maybe put this in here. Will this fit in here? It will. Okay, I'm going to put it in that drawer, I think. Just because I want to try and use it. The Lorac Beauty and the Beast palette. Mike bought this for me. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie. So I have this and the blush palette, and I will never get rid of them. My Juvia's Place palettes are in here. I have this little pressed glitter. I made these. They're starting to get old. This palette in particular is starting to get old. The glitters are starting to fall apart. I have these mainly for Halloween videos because, yeah, the pressed. The what I use to mix is starting to break down just because of age. I have the Meat Matchmaker. I think I might, I don't use this often, but I think I might try and take this one with me when I go to Montana for the summer if I remember. So this one survived declutters. My little Sleigh Bell palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is a really good palette. If you are interested in her stuff and you want to try, I highly recommend. You only have 2 mattes, the red and this cream shade, but it's lovely. You can do a lot with just this one by itself. I have the Little Dose of Colors. I think this was a collab. I Love Sahara. I don't know. I've never used it. I got it as an add-on. It's still here. This is Brenda Dillon Kelly from Sola Look. I don't mind this. There's only 3 mattes. You've got 3 more like satiny shimmers and then like 3 foils. I don't mind this. I haven't liked this brand enough to buy like anything else, but it's not bad. It's fine. It's Beverly Hills 90210. This is one that I've thought about decluttering. I'm going to leave the sticker on this one. This is my Colored Rain. And it's mainly because this shade Ladyship, mine's a little dry, so I just think I got an old one. But the rest of the shades are fine. So I feel like I just need to use this more because I've only used this palette twice. I got this way after the hype. Way after. My Laura Lee Nudie Patootie. Love this palette. Gorgeous. Some of these shimmers in here. I think I can fit this palette in here. I think I'm going to put this one under Gemini just because I want to use it more. I haven't used it in a while. I can squeeze it in. My Lunar Beauty Life's Drag. Got this on Poshmark. Very nice palette. It looks nice. I've never used it. My KVD Saint and Sinner palette. Another bane of my existence because I love it and hate it at the same time. My Violet Voss Flamingo palette. I am going to keep this. I used it once. It's decent. I think there's no, well, like technically there's a purple in there, but my Me, Myself, and Mitchell. I'm mad they discontinued this. This is a really good palette. So you got this side. And this side out, and there's purples in here. I want to use this more during the fall, like just these top rows with the mustards and the oranges, if I remember. This Zodiac palette I need to use more. This I think will be a good fall palette too. I got rid of my love sign ones. I gave that one to my friend Lauren, but that one's still here. There's so many. Getting overwhelmed. I think I'm gonna finally let go of this, the Such a Gem palette. I complain and bitch and moan and gripe, excuse my language, so much about this. And the quality is just okay. I think I'm finally going to let it's so stinking big. It's hard for me to film. And I have the ColourPop palette, the pink one, the purple one. I have Huda Beauty ones, like the purple. Like if I'm going to use purples, I like the Jeffree Star palette better. Like I think I'm finally going to get rid of that. I had no business buying it because of how big it was. So I think that one's going to go to the original Jaclyn Hill. Mine was before they changed it, unfortunately. I have the Manny MUA one. I rebought this. I had 2 of these, gave them both away. Rebought it on Poshmark. And then my Kathleen Lights and Morphe. This one's just old, so I'm going to keep this one until it is no longer usable. The Tammy X Tropical Revolution. I haven't ever used this. I think I used this white shade out of here once, and that's all I've used. My Too Faced Anniversary palette. I like this palette. Not everybody shares my sentiments on that. Okay, so the Warrior palette is gonna squeeze in here. Maybe. Okay, I've got the 35XO, so I got pinks. Like this is pinks and purples, so I don't need that big one. Really trying to solidify my decision here. Again, we got pinks. berry shades, the 35C. And this also has pink in it. More of the, this is a more grungy, like winter, fall color story for me. I much prefer the cardboard packaging, and then this is my favorite Morphe palette. The Boss Mood, my friend Lauren bought me this when I took my practical. I love this palette. Love the greens in here. Very nice fall palette. Home stretch, people, home stretch. So I have volume 1, ABH volume 1. My mother-in-law gave me a gift card for Mother's Day last year, so I got this one. I've never used this one. But and purple. We got purple here, so I definitely don't need that other Morphe palette. The mustards and oranges in here are like fall colors to me, and like purples and stuff. So yeah, I definitely don't need that Morphe palette. I got purples in that palette. Mike bought me this one. This is the first one that I got. Again, we got oranges, greens, very, very autumn-esque. Some purples. Yeah, I'm good on purple. I don't need to keep that one. I got pinks. This one's got pinks in it. I bought this one. It came broken, so Sephora sent me another one. I fixed the broken one and gave it away to one of you guys. And we got pinks. So yeah, I definitely don't need the Morphe palette. Okay. The only one I'm missing is the blue one, which if I could get it on sale because the completionist in me wants it, but as you can see, I don't need it. And then we'll go through my Juvia's Place ones. You saw the Warrior already, so that's going to go in here. The Festival palette. Zulu. Nomad, which I got to replace. I have a sticker on this, but I think I'm going to keep this one. I bought this to replace one of the Jaclyn Hill palettes that I really liked. I need to use it some more. I don't think this is their best one, but I'm going to try it with a different primer. I have Saharan, Nubian 3. I don't have the original Nubian. I gave it to my oldest daughter just because it's a neutral palette. Masquerade Mini is one of my favorites. And the Nubian 2 has survived declutters only because I hate the size of this. But again, it's a nice, these are all like fall neutrally palettes. Okay, so let me put all this stuff away and we will. Okay. So I only ended up getting rid of 3. So I'm going to get rid of the Violet Voss Essentials 2, my Nightingale palette, and then this monstrosity. The ones on the chopping block still are going to be the Neon Drip, the Queen of Hearts palette, and then my Rose Gold Remastered palette from Huda Beauty. Those are ones that I'm considering getting rid of. I just need to use them more. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully this wasn't too bad. Like I said, I wasn't planning on decluttering a bunch, but I knew there was probably a few that I could pull out, and then I was able to kind of reorganize what's in my drawers, which was helpful too. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Again, hopefully this wasn't too bad. Excuse me. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you all in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.